Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Kaga once again, and yeah, I had to take a small break last week thanks to life getting extremely busy on a personal end. And that made me sit back and evaluate what I could actually do, you know, comfortably in terms of putting videos up every week. And I've posted the schedule that I think will work moving forward on Facebook and Google+. For those of you that don't find your way over there, the links are in the description box down below. You can also find them on the main channel page. Enough about that, and on with the gameplay. I've shown a little bit of this tank before, and yes, we're playing War Thunder realistic tank battles once again. I've shown this tank before, and it's the T-34 1940, and, you know, it's amazing how comfortable this machine is to bring out into battle. I say that, and, well, I'm gonna just let this video speak for what I think in terms of how comfortable this vehicle is to play. Now, it has its moments, but all tanks have their moments, right? All machines have their moments. They're machines. They're going to do that to you from time to time. But I would never let anyone come down and say that you should expect perfection, or that you should fully expect RNG to be a massive influence on your gameplay. Well, it's War Thunder. If you can't take a joke, you're probably playing the wrong game. And, you know, it's the funny thing. When I'm sitting down and I'm coming up with something to talk about, I'm always sitting there trying to figure out what it is that I really want to highlight in a particular video. And in this particular one, it really comes down to a few things. The first is how quickly things can change on the battlefield, and that I mean both in good and bad. And just, I guess to a lesser degree, I also want to talk about a certain amount of gamer mentality, if you will. But I'm going to talk about that a little later on in the video. Oh, hello, trollish M3s. I know, for those of you who are probably joining me from World of Tanks combat, sit back and go, M3, what are you talking about? Well, here in War Thunder, when you first bring out your battle rating 3 anything, whether it be tank, tank destroyer, or even some of the fighter bombers at that tier, M3 Lees are a particularly trollish thing to shoot at, because they just have so much space for that 6-man crew to just absorb shrapnel and not get killed, unlike this machine, which historically is a very cramped beast. And right now, I know there's something behind me. I don't know what. It's somewhere obscured behind that tree. And when it comes to, and I must stress that getting back from the M3 Lee and some of the discussions about that, is that when it comes to these games, the more realistic you get in terms of the game mechanics, the more the situational awareness matters. I mean, it's intuitive, right? Or it should be intuitive that when these realistic mechanics are enforced, you tend to get one chance, maybe two if you're really lucky with any given vehicle. And more often than not, armor is not going to save you. It can. That's not. I'm going to back it up, and it can save you, but you should never rely on it. And when it comes down to is your ability to position yourself, it matters more in War Thunder than it does in World of Tanks. for example, or Armored Warfare. And just simply listening and then watching and then turning things, like your camera around, allows you to take note of, hey, there's an enemy behind me. And by the way, I didn't actually kill this M10 with that shell. I'd killed an one of the, it's like T117 or the T17E2, I think it was. Yeah, sorry. The kill feed's not really going to work on this one since it's a replay, and to have the kill feed up, I would be obscuring the tank status display down there in the lower left-hand side of the screen, and I personally think that's no bueno. And the other thing about War Thunder, gotta get used to for those of you who come from World of Tanks, is just because a tank's dead doesn't mean the game will render it that way. So sometimes you might find yourself pulling the trigger on a dead tank. Other times you might find a not dead tank intermingled with a bunch of dead tanks, and that's an M10 here. And you are not getting that chance to get that 75mm gun on me. Nope. Where were those aimed? Okay. I'm not going to complain because I'm going to capitalize on his mistake. Yes, I am actually going to capitalize on that because there was a whole rush of people that just died. And more often than not, people don't actually use this little avenue to escape the spawn on this side. They go through that part near the B capture point that you see on the map. They go through the corridor that leads due east up there along the B line, or they go due south on the 2 line. They don't usually go through this area here, and as a result it gives me a nice area to set up an ambush. They're not coming? Okay, I see an SPAA there. Let's move up and give them some support. Now, I kind of, we started off the video talking about what I wanted to cover, and one of the big things that really gets to me in any of these, doesn't really matter whether it's shooter, shooter is not really a genre of game. The MOBAs or any game like that where you have PvP as the primary vehicle of player interaction with the game, or the way we play it. It doesn't matter which specific one you're looking at. You always run into a problem of player mentality. Now, to some extent, I can understand why people just look at the game and go, okay, I'm not going to waste my time. This is going to be something we just quit right now, get into another match, save myself some time. I can understand that people want to be time efficient with the amount of hours they spend playing their games. But at a certain point, it just... I know you've all had that. Right now, I know we're a little behind on points. You've probably all had similar experiences. But at this point, we still have a fair number of players up. They're taking pretty heavy losses. Yes, they're bringing in some air power, and that's going to hurt. But we're still doing well enough that people should keep spawning in. And at this point, I've already got ace. I've already had an ace round in this thing, so I think it's looking up. The enemy has... Yes, they've managed to push into A. Yes, they're kind of holding the mid-ground pretty well. And yes, they're dealing with the other spawn camper up there at B5. And hello, Mr. SPAA. I have no idea what you were thinking, but I admire your bravery. Great spirit you showed there. You probably should have gone the other way. Yes, you spotted me, but Not that your friends there really capitalized on that. And I'm gonna get back on this. This is like one of the things that really gets me is two things: awareness and the way people approach games. They both need improvement. Sometimes I'm happy with the outcome. Other times, yeah, no. And wow, what happened with that shell? Wow. It's the one of those moments where I have to eat my own words. There are times when armor does work. It just never works when I want it to. Or, when you really need it to keep your entire crew alive and someone just derps you in the face because Soviets. Not that this thing's indicative of Soviet bias or anything, but think what you will. Now, I'm not gonna say that, we lost because of the team. I make my share of mistakes, and you're going to see a collection of small ones here, but nonetheless, you're going to see that where some of my team made some mistakes, and as I did as well, there's a subtle difference in what happens after the fact. I should not be here. Right off the bat, I should not be here. I should not be firing. I've already had one round go into the side of a Crusader with this APHE, not do shit, but I do it again. I should have actually had the armor piercing loaded at that angle. Oops. Maybe I'll remember that next time. But maybe you can understand why I think that, why I was tempted to take the shot. More times than not, armor piercing high explosive is the way to go. And then, not that time. Not that time. Okay, anyone spot mistake number 2? Go ahead, raise your hands if you did. Let me know in the comments if you did. Because mistake 2 literally just happened. So, I'm gonna come back around, and this is where my approach to these games comes up and bites me in the ass. I do the predictable thing, and I get spotted for it, and I am not prepared for this guy. Thankfully, the armor holds out, but rather than back up and engage, I go up in his face, and here comes mistake number 3. Ow. Well, that could have gone better. Well, yes, I had a tank destroyer and a T-50 to choose from after this. I think it was a ZIS-30 equipped. Whatever that first tank destroyer you get in the Soviet line is, I think it was a ZIS-30. And to choose between those two or this SU-VM-5, I think it is. There are too many of those variants that I can't keep track of right now. Too early in the morning for that. And I'm thinking that I am going to go ahead. We're going to start bombing things right now. Then I spot what appears to be a P-38 and what appears to be some flavor of Hurricane. Not exactly safe to go treetop level and bomb 5 times. I've got the 6 100-kilogram bombs loaded out. That should be enough to deal with things like Crusaders and Crusader AAs and things like that. The things that are probably left in this match. If they're Valentines, well, rip. Now, I probably should not have used this aircraft, but I felt that executing a couple people on the ground before hopping into another tank would have swayed things in our favor. Spoilers there. I know how we all hate spoilers, but I really can't hide it any longer. You know what's coming, right? You've all had matches like this, and just do it for fun, right under the bridge, and oh, wow, I'm surprised I still have a wingtip, to be honest. Oh, boy. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to have any chance keeping these bombs on board. So let's get them off and hope for the best. And I'm not really certain what happened there, but I didn't level out right in time, and, well, the plane didn't start getting lift back, and, well, there's another mistake. Well, nothing better to do but try again, right? We'll just try again. Hello, Mr. T-50. Yeah. We'll try that again. Wow. Wow. And people say that 50s are garbage. I don't believe it for a second. I do not believe that for a second. No. Bad P-38. Bad P-38. Would have been better, and it would have been justice if I had planted that one right into him, and... Oh, I stand corrected. It is not... That was not a Hurricane. It was some flavor of American aircraft. Probably... looked like a Wildcat. Hello, Mr. P-38 again. I saw your shadow. Please, go away. 20 millimeters scare me in this thing. Go away. Okay. The cat's out of the bag. They're capping A. Again. Now, I could do the predictable thing, and I could drop artillery on the A point. But there's two things with that. One, it delays when I can get in there and potentially recap it. And secondly, it announces that I'm coming. How does it announce that I'm coming? Well, guess what? If most of you think that that's what you would do to get people off that cap, then everyone else would be assuming that a relief force is coming to capture the point. That allows us to catch that Crusader unawares. I am not foolish enough to keep my ass pointed towards that aircraft. Thank you. Bad aircraft. I'm also not foolish enough to assume I'm not going to get attacked from the rear. Though it does take me a while to turn this slow-ass T-50 turret, get it onto target. Unfortunately, the guy takes out my gun barrel. And I'm really glad I didn't use that artillery, because it's going to force him to move. If nothing else, it makes me feel like I'm doing something right now to have my machine gun going. Typical. 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 So, apparently I am not a threat to this Crusader. Apparently. But also apparently somewhere in that exchange, either he ran out of ammo, or someone damaged his gun. Unfortunately for him, I said unfortunately for him, my gun's back up. Now, if only I could aim in third-person view, right? And someone else takes him out. Oh boy. This match is turning out to be special. So, 3 people versus 8. I know there were a bunch of people who had the points. They'd done well enough to have another spawn in at this point. Oh my word. Really? Oh, I stand corrected. It's 3+1 plane. Who's probably that given the flight path, probably not going to help us anytime soon. So it's basically 3 versus 8. Oh boy. Is that a... Yes, that's a gladiator. Someone brought a gladiator to the party. And now... There's a lot of aircraft swarming overhead. What is the one mistake that you could make in a tank? Or what are the 2 mistakes you could make in a tank with a lot of aircraft overhead? First, be somewhere where they can hit you. Sounds obvious, right? Second one, lots of straight lines. Yeah, that guy didn't... I did not make that a challenge at all for him, apparently. And that one really was from a Hurricane. Alright. Okay, there's lots of aircraft up in the sky. There's someone not doing shit, and now there's only 2 people on the ground. We really do need the fighter cover. Now, in hindsight, this was a mistake. And I'm going to leave it to your imagination why I think this was a mistake. You can let me know in the comments what you think this mistake is. But, at the end of the day, I don't know. This felt like the best way to keep on fighting. There were a lot of aircraft up at the time. Funny. I don't see them landing. I don't hear them. Where are they? Oh, wait. I hear something. Oh, it's just that it's a bot. Okay, so yeah, it really is just 3 versus 8 at this time. That's not making me feel warm and fuzzy. I'm really looking for people right now, low and slow and trying to land. Not seeing anybody? Okay, no dice. That's just my shadow. It's really easy in these night engagements when you're in an aircraft to start jumping at your own shadow. It really is. Lord. Okay. Let's get down there and see if we can start spotting anything a little bit closer. Oh boy. It's not looking good. Nope. Okay, no, that's just friendly. There's nothing in front of him. Alright, time to turn off. Alright. At this point... Yeah, there was a really and truly was not a lot we could do. And a friendly bomber deciding to rip his own wings clean off didn't help anything. And at this point, I just kind of given up. But we gave it our all, and it really does make me miss other types of games where you can give your all and you can... Things might be tough, but you can still come out on more or less on top. Well, that's probably enough of me rambling and reminiscing of the days when I participated in things like full raids and whatnot in MMORPGs. Yes, that's what I was doing in the back of my mind while recording this, and that's kind of why the dialogue's a little everywhere. Oh, I miss those days. Anyway, thank you for bearing with me for the better part of half an hour at this point. Be sure to check out the weekly schedule. Well, it loosely is a schedule. It's just in when I'm going to upload a video. No idea on what, though. On Facebook and Google+. Links are in the description box like I said earlier. And let me know what you thought of the video. Anyway, well, I will see you on Thursday. Thank you, and have a good day.